Hi guys, welcome to Travel with Austin. I'm Austin. Today we are here in Detroit, Michigan, and we are exploring another abandoned school. Now this school is pretty old. I'm not sure when it stopped being used as a school, but based off some calendars and stuff in here, it in general stopped being used in 2016, and at the time it was being used as like a community center. So starting out, you can see we are in a room with quite a bit of trophies. I would give you guys a closer look at them, but they would probably reveal the name of this location, and obviously we do not want to do that. Up until very recently, this school actually had full power still and heat. There are some areas that still seem to have running water. For some reason, this light is still on and still works, but nothing else that we have been able to find still works. So it's interesting that that one does. So this room's actually pretty bad condition. You can see there's some water on the floor. It smells pretty bad. Lots of clothes. It's possible that, well, as you can see, there's lots of stuff stored in here. So it probably has been storage, either officially or unofficially, since it actually closed down. So here's the auditorium. And when we first enter, you can see we have a ton of baby dolls surrounding a headless baby doll, which is quite interesting. You can see there's some really great details up on the wall here, some molding there. We also have this nice arch ceiling. And here is the stage, which is beautiful. And of course, there's another doll there. Oh, I was going to show you guys that mural, but I do think it would tell you exactly where this school is, so unfortunately I cannot. But the hallways actually have tons of little paintings in them. And when we get to the second floor, you'll see some interesting things they did to the lockers here. So you can still see we have books and everything, toys. Just lots of stuff left behind. I did not notice this fireplace before. That is gorgeous. And it looks like this was a quiet place, quiet room. Oh, look at that too. That's a creepy baby doll. So, like I said, until very, very recently, this place had power, had running heat. We did get a water fountain that still work here. So it does still seem to have at least some water. And as we go through, you're going to see there's just so much stuff left behind. A lot of it is like computers and stuff, but some of it, as you can see by these different colored bears and stuff, are stuff you would expect to find in a school. Now, again, I don't know what grade level this would have been, but based off, the things on the walls, it looks like elementary students. And I guess lockers for elementary students in Detroit is a thing. It's not a thing where I grew up, but things are done differently in other places. This appears to be the old library. Let's take a look at some of the books left behind. A book on supercarriers. Miss Spider's Tea Party. Ferdinand. Just lots and lots of books. Oh. There's a hole in the floor. Looks like it leads to maybe some type of, what's the word? Like, maybe, like, heating tunnel or something, maybe. Because there are, radiators in the room, so maybe that's where they service the pipes and stuff. Now, we haven't seen anybody, but for a while, there apparently was a homeless person living here. And honestly, they were probably living here when the power and the heat were on, because that would be the perfect place to stay. So there is one of the entrances. I love that archway. But you can see how the drop-down ceiling added on later cuts off part of the archway. And we're going to navigate through this mess to get over here. And this is the office area. We do have a couch when we first enter, which is kind of weird. You know, desk and stuff. Or, well, cabinets there. Desk here. And then more of the office in here. See, we have a tambourine. You know, usually we only try it with pianos, but it still works. We have a Happy Meal dog toy. I know earlier there was a Hotel for Dogs DVD in here, so maybe that's like from McDonald's having Hotel for Dogs. Now this clock here, my friend Lucy says that this would be the main clock, and basically it would be set in here and could set every clock in the rest of the school, which is really interesting. Obviously growing up, all the clocks in my school were all digital, so we didn't have anything like that, but that's really cool. And then here is one of the wall clocks that was taken off the wall. I have seen one of those where it was open, so I figured it would open, but I guess not. And then here is the former gymnasium, which, as you can see, is just filled with computers. So it's also the snowman there. Also, these are like smart boards, but they're tables. So smart tables. I did not know these existed. They're really cool. So that's interesting. We still got the basketball hoops up. So they still have their nets on them. This place is generally in incredible condition. However, some of it, obviously, as you can see, like the hallways are pretty messed up. But overall, I generally say it's in pretty great condition for being abandoned so long. However, now that the power and heat are off, it is probably going to go downhill pretty quickly, which is unfortunate. Now, we have this room in here. And this one, you can see the floor is starting to have issues. There's another doll set up here, which is really weird. And you can definitely tell this is for younger kids in here. You look so much better when you smile. Ugh. Don't tell people to smile. Now we're going to head up to the second floor and explore around there. And this floor is actually much more interesting in my opinion. Although the gym and the auditorium are great. So first of all, look at these big windows here. Lots of natural light. And we get up here and you can see we still have desks. We still have those little shapes they made us play with as kids. I love these built-in storage. They're just so beautiful. And try not to step on the glass there. You can take a look at what a much better condition hallway looks like here. You can see the nice clock up there on the wall. The tiles. And as we walk through. This reminds me of kind of like a security system in a way, but I don't think it is. I think it's just storage. But I've seen things where it's like it's got the monitors and then it would have the drives down there and stuff. Again, more beautiful wood. And here is the clock. That's pretty ornate. And we're gonna go up here now. Now, The last thing this was used as was for a baseball academy. And it basically is like a secondary gym. You may be able to see by the signs on the walls that this was donated by Ford. Of course, we are in Detroit, so that does make a lot of sense. That looks more like a fake golf thing, but we have a T-ball and a T-ball bat. Then we have, of course, the rest of the room. Oh, I didn't look in here last time. Oh, look, it's a pitching machine. Some gym lockers and equipment. That looks like internet stuff. IT stuff that I don't know too much about. Now, on this floor, as we walk through it, the lockers have different cities painted on them, which is kind of interesting. Also, kids playing on equipment and stuff. But here is Shanghai, then St. Louis, Kyiv, of course, Detroit, which I'm surprised is not the biggest one, Chicago, and then, so come down here, we even have Seattle. Now, it's really interesting because some of these, like this one, still kind of have their classroom look. But if we go to these two next door, you can see we have an air hockey table and a foosball table. There is a desk in here too, though. And then if we just go one more door over, we have a workout area. And they even have a "do you even lift here?" So now, the most interesting areas of this building, in my opinion, are going to be down this hallway. So first, we got this nice tricycle here in the hallway, creating a spooky scene for us. And then we'll take a look at these classrooms too, but you can see classroom, spooky tricycle, classroom with desks in it still. But then we get down to these three rooms. So first, we'll go in here. This is kind of like an office. It is the least interesting of these three rooms, but it's still more interesting than the identical classrooms. Then we have the second most interesting room, which when you start out, you could be a little bit disappointed until you see this is where they would have filmed stuff. You can see we have the camera tripod still. We have a news desk set up. Looks like this room was Basic Video Production 101. Look, they had a flag hung up and then they had a fan so they could make the flag wave in the fan. So this is the second most interesting. And then we're going to enter the most interesting room, which if you've ever seen a video or picture of this place, you've probably seen a picture of this area. That is this old computer lab. And it's absolutely insane. First of all, these computers look so old. But look at them, it's so interesting. As you can see, people have written on them, "Save me," "Spare me." Ohio Red was here. Mr. P was also here. And Teddy Bear Travels. He has his name on like a chalkboard here somewhere. But yeah, this is a section you've probably seen photos of. I wonder if this is an optical mouse or not. Nope, still has the ball. You guys remember when you had to hard boil an egg and use the yolk for the ball every week? In case someone is too young for that, that is a joke. So here is the computer lab. It is probably the most famous room of this building, and it's honestly the coolest. The thing is, these computers are out of date, so even if someone could save them, they probably wouldn't be, worth saving, except for a collector. But yes, this is the abandoned school in Detroit that was used most recently, as far as I can tell, as a community center. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys next time with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.